Hey, my friend, welcome to today's lesson on momentum trading strategies using the momentum trading indicator. You'll see that I'm using Forex here. This is a good tutorial for beginners. Also going to show you some setups, some patterns, and some strategies. So let's jump right into it. All right, now as you can see here, I am using the indicator called momentum. And there it is right down there. I'm going to use my little yellow highlighter, cool new tool I just got, so I'm enjoying playing with that. And now there are many different types of momentum indicators. So right now, for today's purposes and today's tutorial, I'm only going to be discussing the indicator actually called momentum, the momentum indicator. And as you can see, I have it set to a default of 14 periods, which equates to 14 bars, whatever time interval that you might be using. I'm using a daily, and I'm using Forex market here, Euro, US dollar. But again, this is one of those indicators that really can be used on pretty much anything, any time frame, stocks, Forex futures, commodities, E-minis, intraday trading. It's really very flexible. Okay, now the first thing I have to tell you about the momentum indicator is that it is not a momentum indicator. How do you like that? So, isn't that ironic? Yep, it is literally not a momentum indicator. In fact, most of the indicators that they tell you fit into the category of momentum indicators are not momentum indicators. The reason for that is that momentum is velocity times mass. That is the mathematical equation for momentum. So with most momentum indicators in technical analysis, they are measuring velocity or speed. They're basically, well, for example, this one, it's identifying how fast price is moving up and down by how much, and it's going to compare generally the close of the price to the close a certain number of periods ago, whatever you set the settings to. In this day we've got, or in this video, we've got it set to 14. All right, so it does measure speed, acceleration, but where does the mass part? Again, velocity times mass is the equation for momentum. So I equate mass in that sense to volume. In this particular indicator, in fact, most so-called momentum indicators do not incorporate volume into them. And so there is no weight, if you will, that is incorporated into the equation, and therefore it is more properly termed as a rate of change or acceleration or speed of market or velocity, whatever you want to call it. So let's be just clear on that. All right. So now you might see that's nitpicking, but it's really not, because there are other indicators that do incorporate both velocity and mass into them, or in other words, volume into them at the same time. So you will get very different readings from those indicators. You need to know that. All right, so how do we use this puppy? Okay, so a couple of different things that we would look for. So the first thing is we have a zero line here. And there you go. Actually, I should probably use a different color there since I set my momentum indicator to blue. But that's our zero line. So anything that hovers around the zero line is basically just neutral, meaning, quite literally, no momentum. I'll continue to use the word momentum just because, well, that's what the indicator is called, and to avoid any confusion. You know, I think I'll use the, let's use magenta. Maybe that'll stand out better for us, especially since the zero line is in magenta. Okay, so there you go. So you can see right in here. Now let me bring my cool new yellow highlighter up here. So right there, it's just kind of hovering around zero. And what is the market doing? Well, the market is pretty much just in a channel. In fact, we could actually take it all the way back to here, I suppose, if we wanted to. But and so, yeah, just kind of moving sideways, not trending up, not trending down. And, you know, there we go. So that's indicated by here as well. Now, one of the things that some people have said as a criticism of momentum indicators is that they basically just follow price. So you don't really need to add them because they just follow price. So in that sense, of course, you get the old objection that they're lagging indicators. And, well, that's a whole nother discussion for another day. Maybe I'll do a topic on that someday. But there are times when it can be leading. So, for example, let's look at right here. Let's just say, let's take that high there, that low there, and these highs. All right, so here we've got kind of a channel going on, and we've got, high, low, retest that high. Here we just kind of went sideways. Now, but look, we do have a difference here. So here, okay, we've been moving up, and we've got a higher high on price. Bada bing, there we go. And now here we have an equal high on price, but look at our momentum indicator, lower high. So that can potentially be giving us a leading indication that, wait a minute, here we do have a different reading on price than we have on the indicator. So the indicator is not just following price here. Price went up and made an equal high. It actually, technically, if you want to look down to the very pixel on your chart and get real neurotic about it, it made a little bit of a higher high, but we are not going to split hairs on that. But this is a very clear lower high on momentum. So what that would indicate is that momentum we had bullish momentum here. Okay, and that really is just, I wouldn't say this is leading this, but it is confirming it. So, very important distinction. When people say, well, there's no such thing as a leading indicator, again, blanket statements like that are usually too simplistic. This is one of those cases. So, there were many times, and I would venture to say most times, that it is true. That momentum indicator, for example, will be following price, and then I would say it's confirming. It's confirming the move up. Alrighty. But there are some times, and it's not most of the time, it's a minority of the time, there's a minority of the time that it will give us a different signal than price. So instead of getting, and I'm getting a little messy here, so let's take all that off of there just to make this crystal clear. So instead of getting a triple top here, we actually go down. And so definitely the momentum indicator there is not following price, right? It's telling you that this move up is on weakness. There's been what we call momentum shift. And that is very significant. How do we apply that to real trading? Well, let's say that you had been long from down here, and you allow the market to retrace a little bit, maybe lock in some profits there, but you've still got some money on the trade. It comes back up here. Obviously, you're going to know, well, okay, we've got resistance here. Are we going to put in a double top or triple top, however you want to look at this? Or are we going to continue to keep going up? And so you have to make a decision. Well, do I want to let this puppy run, expecting that there's going to be more profits here? Or do I think that's going to be it? Well, this momentum signal might tell you that, you know what? I think that's going to be it. I think that's as far as it's going to go. So I think I'll go ahead and just lock some profits in there. And I let the market run pretty good. I made some pretty good money on this already. And I'm not going to expect it to move up anymore. Why? Because the rate of change, the acceleration, whatever you want to call it, momentum in this case, it is diverging. Obviously, it's a little divergence there from price action. And then notice what happens. We've already kind of shown this, but then just kind of goes sideways. And this just kind of goes sideways too. So no trend. So we go from a trending market to a non-trending market. And the first signal we get, an early signal if you will, is the divergence on momentum. So that is one practical application of how it can be used. I definitely recommend whether you use this, traditional momentum indicator or one of the other 732,000 momentum indicators out there. People get very creative with these indicators. It's actually pretty dang impressive how ingenious some people are with the mathematics of these indicators. Actually, pretty darn impressive. So, but I just wanted to share with you the general concept here today. We're looking for strength when we're going in the direction of the trend, and then we're looking for a momentum shift at the end of a trend. And then that's when we would have a good indication. Remember, indicators do what they indicate. The answer is in the question, but still, they indicate, okay, now we have a probability scenario that, might not expect this to continue to go up any further. Great place to exit, lock in some profits there, and look for the next high probability trade. So if you found value in this video and the other videos that I have on my channel, go ahead and click the thumbs up icon below. Your comments are very cherished, by the way. Post your comments below. Would really appreciate that. If you have any questions or if you have any suggestions for future videos, I actually keep a running list of to-do lists for future videos. And where do I get that list? I get it from you, from your comments. And I got a nice little list here going. I'm working my way through it. And it all comes from your suggestions, so feel free to do that. And finally, I am giving away one of my very favorite trade strategies called the rubber band trade. You can get this absolutely free. It's a trade I take pretty much every day of the week. Very reliable, super high win-loss ratio. It's one of my favorite trades, and I'm going to give it to you for free. So it's going to give you the triggers, the entries, where to place your stop, all that stuff, all the details. And along with that comes a little mini course of 5 short videos. So my gift to you, just go ahead and click on that green box in the top right corner of the video. And that'll take you to a page where you can sign up for that. And I'll be happy to send that your way.